Laboe! We're glad to have you here for our show. We have some great stars.
I thought, you know, maybe I'll go over to San Francisco. I mean, that's where I was living. And you were allowed to live off the base. And I just thought I'd walk into KSAN and just see what's going on. So I walk in there and go up to the 10th floor, and there's nobody there. It's real quiet. I asked the secretary if I could see the manager, and she said, yeah, I'll just go on down the hall and second door and walk in. So I walk in, and there's this big hulk of a guy sitting at the desk, and he's busy with his papers, and he has his glasses on, kind of looks over his glasses and says, who the hell are you? How'd you get in here, and what do you want? and I'm just a kid, you know, and I'm all of a sudden, I said, well, you know, I thought, you know, maybe I could, you know, get a job, you know. I had this little squeaky voice, and he says, no, he says, I don't know how you got in here. He says, we don't have anything for you. You don't have the voice for it. You're too young. And he says, I don't have anything for you. I'm sorry. He says, and I'm real busy. So I said, oh, okay, well, sorry to bother you, sir. And I turned around and was disappointed, of course. And he was pretty rough with me. And I get almost to the door, and he says, and hey, you. He says, by the way, you have to have a FCC license to, you know, be on the radio with a station like ours. We use combination people. And he says, so if you want to get work in this business, you better get a license. So I turned around, I had them in my pocket, and I put the three of them on his desk. And I said, you mean one of these? And he looked at that first-class radio telephone, and he said, you're hired. And I said, well, I thought you have it. He says, no, you're hired. He got up out of his desk, came over, put his arm around me, and he says, do you know why you're hired? And I said, no. He says, that piece of paper, he says, all my engineers have been drafted, and I'm operating illegally. I have to have a first-class radio telephone on the wall. And he says, that's why you're hired. He said, now come with me. So I said, okay, we go in. There's a transmitter. It looks like 3 big refrigerators in those days. He says, can you tune this damn thing? And I said, oh, yeah, I think so. So he said, take a look. He said, see that sign up there? I look up over the transmitter. There's a big sign over it. It says, if the damn thing works, leave it alone. So he says, can you tune this? And I says, yeah, I think so. And I looked at it. It was just a little bit out of tune. I tuned it for a minute. And he was always overjoyed that he had this license to hang on the wall. He picked it up. So I'll put it up on the wall in a frame. That's how I got my first radio job.
Putting chills in my spine right now is our guest today, Art Laboe. What a career. Any idea how many dedications you've read?
I don't know. It's got a lot of zeros.
Yeah.
I made that little truck. I bought it, and see those little towers?
Sure.
I put them up there. and on the back of that truck, it says, this is not a fish wagon. Because I used to go around selling stuff.
And this is where the big change happens?
Yeah, that's it. This is Wilshire and Crenshaw.
And that's Joe Houston.
Yeah.
Right about this time, you come up with this idea.
Yeah.
Oldies but goodies. Where did this come from?
I was doing a show at the drive-in, and we're taking requests, you know. Mm-hmm. I put some of these at the bottom of the list when I pass out a list to the kids to pick their songs, the top 20 at the bottom. And so it had to be old and good.
Right.
So then it called it oldie but goodie.
Look at that. That's dedication music.
El Monte Legion Stadium, Saturday night. Boom, boom, boom.
And that's one of the Art Laboe live shows.
Very recent.
You know, one of the things that strikes me about these is that it's for the whole family.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yes, she used to be under contract to us on my record label.
Jane Mansfield?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah,
my
she
goodness.
made a couple of very nice records for us. Bob Hope and I were in business together. The station that I was on years ago, KRLA, actually, Bob Hope wound up owning it, and I had a piece of it.
There's the two great icons.
My friend Dick Clark, what a guy. Yeah, we were real good friends. That's me on the Walk of Fame.
one more dedication here to Becky Ruiz, who writes in and wants a dedication to Evelyn Davis of Anaheim on her 17th birthday, and to Roger Guzman of Santa Ana from the girl he used to go around with. Please come back from Annie, and to Rudy and Francis, who are so cute together.
Still have a great following in East LA.
Yeah.
And now their daughters and granddaughters and sons and uncles and nephews. They call me sometimes. We do dedications for them all the time.
How much pleasure, how much joy you've brought to millions of people through your music. What a career. What a life.
You're a legend, though.
Yeah, well, boys, it's lonely at the top.
Those oldies but goodies reminds me of you. The songs of the past bring back memories of you. Angel baby, angel baby, ooh, I love you, ooh, I do.
Together, baby. Together, baby. Baby, just you and me. Yeah. Wow, how happy we'll be.
Those oldies but goodies reminds me of
So I appreciate all the great things that have happened to me over the years. I mean, every dream I ever dreamed, I guess, has come through 100 times or maybe 1,000 times.